Did you think that when you guys shifted to the man that kind of changed things and got you back into it? And
We did. There was, we were down 13, start of the second half. Our zone got us back into, we took the lead with 10 minutes. We just fell when they ended up taking that 10-point lead. We needed to change something, and so we went in there. I thought it was really good. We sparked it. We got some easy baskets in transition, and then the longer we stayed in it, then there was a couple fouls. We put them on the line, which were big plays, and so it was the game that the game of runs. It was, you got down. We just couldn't be consistent over time to be able to not only take the lead when we took the lead, but to kind of build it. We give it back to them too easily.
The last shot by Nas, was that the shot they wanted to work?
Yeah, we wanted a 1-4 low, a little bit like what we did with Jalen. He got to his spot and lost a little bit of balance, and he short-armed it. But he was having a game. He was hard to guard, and he got to a spot and just missed it.
How much did it swing the momentum to have that technical foul and then have them get 5 points on that possession?
Well, there was a couple of those 5-point plays. That was a big play in the game for sure. And then we had a transition where we were really good in transition for the most part, getting to the basket, getting to the foul line, being aggressive, and we tried to do a little skip pass that they stole, and you get a layup. And in these types of games, you can't give them 5-point plays. Those are very difficult to overcome, and just like that, it was we had a 1-point lead, and they hit a couple threes. Next thing you know, it's an 11-point lead, and in a game like this, can't make those plays.
Is there any reason Jay McDaniel started on the bench in the second half after scoring 11 in the first?
No, I just felt like wanted to get the other guys in, get our guys in, and I thought Jamal Bay, we needed his defensive energy, and Nas Carter's been really good, and just the 5 that I wanted.
What went into getting Hardy and Battle into the game that late in the second half?
Well, we were down, so Raekwon's our best shooter, and if he gets open, it's pretty. He's got a good chance of making it. When we went man, I wanted Hardy's a better on-ball defender, so he was able to kind of get up and kind of create a little bit of havoc. He made a couple really nice plays, changed the tempo of the game. He's a fighter, and it just goes back to that, got us back in the game. But then the consistency to be able to stick with it and not foul, those types of things. But Raekwon, we needed his 3-point shooting. Elijah, we needed his on-ball presence.
I guess to that point, you guys are a pretty good free throw shooting team. You guys have been a pretty good free throw shooting team all year, and then I think 23-37 tonight.
Yeah, but
the line a lot, but
well, you can't. Listen. At the end of the day, this game, there's lots of different ways happen. But 15 foul shots we missed, not a good thing. It's a little bit like what we did at Stanford. We had control in those games. You're playing really good teams, and 1 and 2 possession games. Those become very, very important. And unfortunately, we didn't make those, and we didn't make threes. The other night we did.
Is it harder to get or to find that early rhythm in these senior night games when the lineup is a little unorthodox?
It was a little unorthodox, but I thought they did a heck of a job. It's what I believe in, so that's what I do it. Those kids sacrifice, they give their time, effort, and to give them a minute and a half of heaven with their families watching them and on TV, and to hear their names called is pretty special. I just think it was one of those things. I don't believe that 1 minute's not going to change the game. I think it was one of those things where we just didn't. Our energy levels, the ball was stopping. We didn't have good rhythm in the first half. It was our offense. It was flow. It wasn't good, and then you go back to they scored 41 points in the zone, and for most part we did a really good job on CJ. He's a heck of a player, but 41 points is not winning numbers for us in a half.
That's rivalry games. I'm sure you want to
Yeah.
training those guys once a year. What are you feeling right now? And how do you do that?
Well, to me, every game's a rivalry game. You want to win every single game that you play. It's hard because that I know we're good. I know we are. It's just can we get them to be a little bit more consistent in times, and We're right there. We're playing hard. We just got to play a little bit smarter. We got to execute a little bit better for longer periods of time. And we've kind of been that team. Every team is different, but you play against another team and the ball's popping, it's flying. You're getting 8, 9, 10 assists, and you're making shots. It's a different game. And tonight we just couldn't get any rhythm offensively in the first half. Second half we started taking the ball to the basket, but then with that you got to be able to make some foul shots.
Stewart didn't get a second field goal until less than 10 minutes of the
Yeah.
game. What was happening?
Well, we were trying to drive them. We're down 13, trying to drive them, trying to get to the basket. They did a really good job of pushing him off his spot. And, it's one of those things where, he needs to get more than 7 shots for us to be successful. And the way they're playing, sometimes that forces other guys to have to make plays and score. I mean, that's what good defensive teams do. And we just didn't do enough. He did go to the foul line 10 times, so he probably got around 10 to 11 shots.
Couple more guys.
LB had picked up his 4th personal, about 7, almost 8
Yeah.
minutes left in the game. Is that something that you're trying to really get convinced to your players? We want to drive on him, we want to make him pick up his 5th personal. He had 34 points against you guys.
It wasn't necessarily that. It was when you're down, you want to be able to stop the clock, you want to be aggressive, and you want to make sure you're getting the bonus early. So now anytime you play, they're going to be aware. Just like when we didn't want to foul them in our man-to-man, we foul them, it stops the clock, they're going to make foul shots. We want to keep them off the line, we want to get to the line. And we did a really good job of that for the most part. But, when you go to the line, you got to make them. We win enough, for sure, to win.
Mike, is this
Last
loss as disappointing as any, considering you guys turned the corner last weekend?
You know what? It is. We've just been that team that shows so many really good signs, and then we just, it's like anything. You're looking for that consistency. You're looking for that not mental lapse. You're looking for that focus. And as a coach, you're always, striving for perfection. Progress, not perfection. And we're taking really baby steps. We're not taking those significant steps that we need to be able to win these games.
The guys said that they were focused on working towards Vegas in the Pac-12 tournament. How do you kind of guard against them overlooking these next couple of games down there?
Well, I think these next 2 games, we've got to try to get better to put ourselves in position to win the Pac-12 tournament, bottom line. And so what are those? What are the things that we need to do? We need to have great energy. We need to get a lot of rest. We need to execute better. We need to get, make sure that if we're in the Skyport like we do against Matt Bradley, we got to do the same thing when we play against a guy like C.J. Ellaby. He didn't have 34, but he had 21, and they were 9 for 20 from the field and 5 for 10 from the 3-point line in the second half. I mean, those are not numbers that we consider winning numbers for us. And so, hats off to them, but we've got to do a better job. And so, what do we have to do to get ready? We don't look past anybody, but I think it's kind of, where it is. We just got to try to get to be the best team we can in these next 2 games, get as best as we can going into Las Vegas, and, hopefully make a run.